Well, hello there. I decided today is going to be a little bit of a story time. So, on that note, I am going to do a little bit of relaxing slash podcasting video like this. So, enjoy, and I hope you guys like how this turns out. So, I think last night I posted a video about my Sonic the Hedgehog, and if my glasses fall off, I'm gonna be a little mad, but these look kind of interesting. So, like I said, this is gonna be a little bit of a ASMR video. I have the podcast mic or the quadcast dose going on right now. Hopefully I grab your attention because this video is going to be actually about what I grew up with, childhood, and for those of you wondering about, what made me who I am today. So, it's not going to be everything. It's going to be more in the sense of gaming, sports, sneaker culture, stuff like that. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, or if you enjoy somebody just talking to you straight up, not giving you BS, I really don't know whether to do the lights off or the lights on. But I do know that I have my black light in the background playing. This red light is really interesting, let's just say that. My glow-in-the-dark kunai that I probably should end up getting more of. But let's start this video off on the right way. So, relax yourself. If you have headphones in, probably be ideal. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of whispering to start off with. And let's just turn it back on. So, we're going to start off like this. So, we're going to go through gaming first. And I say that because gaming is really pretty much what I grew up on. My dad was really into tech. Mom was into fashion, from what I remember. So, growing up, I have a lot of experience in gaming. Me and my brother and sister. 2 years apart from my brother. 4 years from my sister. I think when you're 2 years apart, my big brother and me always, let's just start it off on as earliest I can remember so far. So usually kids, they get a gift or they get a, console. And then they got to share. I was blessed most of my life, let's just say, to have parents that actually fed into the whole, they like to play games, they like to go outside. But we got in, me and my brother, we were back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's why when I got this controller, it resonated with me for other reasons too, is because that was kind of like my first, besides a Game Boy Color, I think. Yeah. My first console that I think I personally got all to myself, that I didn't have to share, besides the Game Boy. So I didn't really have, me and my brother, I don't think we didn't get a Super Nintendo. We played Nintendo, we played Super Nintendo at, family members' houses that had it. But we never really had Super Nintendo, all that stuff like that. Sega Genesis, we didn't have that. I think there was another system called Commander, something like that. It was pretty interesting back in those days because everything was like, 32-bit, or the bit system, the way they did it back then. But the turning point, though, that me and my brother had I think when the Game Boy Color came out. So I think my brother got the purple one, Game Boy Color. May or may not have gotten it, whichever one. But all I do remember is this, as far back as I can remember. My brother got the one with Blastoise, the Pokemon game. I think I got Charizard. So it was more like of a back and forth kind of thing with us, with like different ways we got our games and how we got things. So I think we both had Game Boy Color Advance, stuff like that, those kind of consoles. But I had Pokemon Red, he had Pokemon Blue. I think it started when Pokemon Yellow came out. I don't even think we got that one. I think we played that at a friend's house or something. But it was Pokemon Red for me, Pokemon Blue for my brother. I think I got, the next one was Pokemon Silver and Gold. Yeah, Silver and Gold. So, thank God for Apple Watches. But I got the one with Ho-Oh, and I think my brother got the one with Lugia. We even saw the movie when it first came out. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but I think it was Pokemon, I think it was called the first movie, or Pokemon 2000 or something like that. But I know it had Mewtwo in it. And that was back when I think Burger King, if you remember, did those little gold plate Pokemon things. You got a Pokeball or something, which they should come back out with those. But so Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, my brother, Pokemon Gold, me, Pokemon Silver, my brother. And I only got Gold just because Gold just, I think, sounded better at the time, even though I did like Lugia. And then from there, I think my brother, we started getting systems of our own after the Game Boy Advance hit. One of those. And it was like Pokemon Crystal. They started doing all this weird stuff. Like they were coming out with, I think when Game Boy Color came out, me and my brother, I think, got Pokemon Crystal. Or Pokemon Yellow, Crystal, stuff like that. But the turning point was, I think on my birthday, my brother had already had, if you guys don't remember, Sega Saturn. I think it was Sega Saturn. I had, for my birthday, gotten a Sony PlayStation, which recalls back to this. And we always got games, we always got controllers, so that way each of us could play on the console that we got. So I think it was he got the Sega Saturn, which there wasn't really that many good games, I think, for Sega Saturn at the time. When I got my PlayStation is, I think, when my brother was getting like a ton of games for my personal console. And I think that's back when I had Tekken 3, I had Final Fantasy 8, my brother played Final Fantasy 7. I didn't even get to finish that game, I just always watched my brother play. But Final Fantasy 8 was when I kind of like came into my own kind of like games that I liked, that I instead copied my brother with. And then I think we had 2 controllers for the PlayStation, and then we had 2 controllers for Sega Saturn, which they had games like Sonic R. They had games like, I think, Knights. They didn't have that many good games. I think they had like Sega, I don't know if it was Sega GT. It was a racing game my brother had, but if you guys do remember or nostalgic, or you guys did play any of these, let me know what system or games you guys had as kids. But the other turning point was when we got, and I say we because we got a bunch of games. My parents, I think, saw how we were with our PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. My brother tried to keep it from me. We played still though. I just watched my brother a lot. But I was outside playing basketball. That's another part of my life. Sports, big part of my life. But when we got the Nintendo, I think it was the Nintendo 64. That console changed lives. Legitimately changed lives for a lot of people, because that was one of the consoles that had taken multiplayer to new levels. And I don't mean like just you versus me. I mean like you versus your friend and your other friend. Because I think that was the only console at the time that had ports. You were able to insert up to 4 people, just standard, not you had to add a cable to get 4 other people to play, because I know PlayStation had like a multi-tap thing back in the day. But I'm talking about like just standard. Nintendo 64 came out, it was a wrap. That was a time when Nintendo was just like, they were on it. You had Super Mario 64. You had one of the games that I still love today, Diddy Kong Racing. I really wish they come back out with that one. Star Fox, another game that my brother beat, of course, before me, but my brother beat, and I wish would come out again, because they're neglecting Star Fox. I mean, you see him in like Super Smash Brothers, but a lot of people don't remember Star Fox, unless you're, of course, like an OG like us. But you had, that's back when like Kirby came out, that's back when they had Mario Tennis, and me and my brother, we got controllers, and I think my sister we had tons of controllers, because back then controllers broke like crazy. If you know, you know. But we had the like atomic, I think purple or the green, they had different colors of controllers back then. Rumble Pack, which was always cool, especially with Star Fox. That was back when they had like that, as they call now, HD Rumble and stuff. But we had that. Mario Tennis was another one that my brother would always, it was like, once again, back and forth with us. My brother would pick Mario, I would pick Luigi. My brother would pick Wario, I would pick Waluigi. Stuff like that. And then like he started playing with what is his name? I think it was Boo. Even like Mario Kart. He was playing with like Toadstool. he played with a lot of characters that were fast or like tricky back then. Probably still does now. But so then comes GoldenEye, Killer Instinct. You had Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World. You had Turok. But back to GoldenEye. GoldenEye was the business. That was the Call of Duty before Call of Duty even came out. That was before the I'll get into it later, but that was the business. That was the game. Your friends came over. You guys all played. But GoldenEye set people apart. That was the first person shooter that was just like super sick. Like a lot of people loved that game. A lot of people grew up on that game. That's where we got a lot of our competitiveness from too, is playing these games as well as playing sports. My brother liked to play basketball. He wasn't as into it as I was, but he was more into racing. Even as a kid, like we did a lot of stuff that we still probably do today. Competitiveness, especially with me, I know that because I'm very, very competitive. But beyond that, Nintendo 64 comes out, really good system, stuff like NBA Jam, all of that. They had probably way more other, games. Perfect Dark, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. I think my brother played those kind of games back then. I didn't really play that. I played like more like the sports. That was back when Kobe had his first, game, which was a thing called NBA Courtside. If you know, you know. But this was back before the NBA 2Ks and NBA Lives and stuff came out. So NBA Courtside, Kobe Bryant's NBA Courtside. I want to say he had 2 games. I want to say it was before 2000. So fast forward, you had the battle of the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn got wiped out, like cut the cord. It was a battle just between PlayStation and Nintendo 64 at that time. Then you had the Sega Dreamcast. That is where Sega was like, nah, F all that. I'm taking it to a new level. Sega Dreamcast comes out. They had Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and Soul Calibur. Oh my Jesus, that I think was the first game that ever got like a perfect score. I think on I don't know if it was Electronic Gaming Monthly back then. We used to collect the magazines and stuff too. But Sega Dreamcast had a lot of stuff. Sonic Adventure. That was back when Allen Iverson was killing stuff, and that was when it was called Sega Sports, I think. NBA 2K. He has, I think, even to this day, the longest running of his face on a front cover, I think. It went from NBA 2K, 2K1, 2K2, 2K3, I think up to 2K4, and then it became ESPN basketball. And this is back when the whole NFL 2K came out. Randy Moss was on it. I think even Randy Moss. Those games were ridiculous. And that was when NBA 2K was whipping NBA Live's butt in sport. Like the 2K series back then was just whipping their butt. They had Sega GT. They had Sonic Adventure. Like I said, Sonic Adventure 2 came out. They had tons of stuff. And then you had the PlayStation 2. And when that dropped, I think my brother got that first. And then I think we had, yeah. No, I think we both had, yeah, I think my parents got us the PlayStation 2, or I got the PlayStation 2. And then once again, my brother had like tons of games. Final Fantasy 10. We never played 9, both of us, I don't think. Me or my brother, like we skipped that one. It just didn't appeal to us. He went to 10, he started beating that game. PlayStation 2 is just like already probably one of the most hyped consoles ever and emulated still to this day. Sega Dreamcast kind of like whoosh, went down. That's when Nintendo GameCube came out. And then they had the battle between the PlayStation, the GameCube, and then we had the Xbox. The Xbox took over. But let's not forget, let's not skip PlayStation 2 because PlayStation 2 had a lot of good games. Metal Gear Solid, when that came out. Zone of the Enders, a lot of people don't remember it. But Tekken Tag Tournament. You had, I think Dynasty Warriors back then was pretty hot. Gran Turismo was still doing good. I think it was called A-Spec. Gran Turismo 3 or 4, one of them. But Gran Turismo was beating the crap out of, I think that's when a lot of the games came from Sega to, Sega just like fell off after Dreamcast. But, I think they moved to the Xbox taking over. And when the Xbox came out, that's when me and my brother, us both, we got that system. And Xbox was just a game changer for us. I think my parents bought us Halo. I remember when Halo came out, it just literally destroyed PlayStation and GameCube. Like, there's no competition. Halo, just first-person shooter, it wiped the floor with Call of Duty, wiped the floor with anything you could think of back then. Halo was the best soundtrack, the best gameplay, 4-player or anything else, single-player story mode, had one of the best stories of a first-person shooter I think we had ever played at that time. We got a game called Max Payne. I think I got Max Payne. I got a game called Mech Assault. And if that game ever comes out again, I am wishing they remaster that. So Max Payne, Mech Assault, Project Gotham Racing, which is kind of like how Forza is today. It just kind of changed into that. But Project Gotham back then in the day, you had the Kudo system, really cool system, blew the waters out of Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo was more simulation based. Project Gotham was in the middle of arcade-ish and simulation. My brother had Dead or Alive. We had Halo. And I think my brother had something else. I forget the other game it was. But Max Payne was like, anytime we got off of Halo, I played Max Payne. And my brother played Dead or Alive, and then we went back and forth. But that's gonna be the first part of this video. 25 minutes in, you guys gotten part 1 of growing up as a gamer and an athlete in high school and middle school. Haven't told you guys that part yet, but that'll be in part 2. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of piece of where all my gaming comes from. So if you guys did play any of the games I played, let me know what you guys grew up with, whether it was, where you started off. I'd like to hear that in the comment section. What did you guys grow up on? No pauses in this video. It's just straight up nostalgia and gaming to a T. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on